passed the lighter like a landlord handing over a key. Said the door was always open like the opening was free, but the lease was in the language that I wasn't trained to read, and the fine print was the blueprint of a different kind of need. The kind of rima negotiates the architecture underneath. The person that you thought you were before you cut your teeth on something that was sharpening itself against your mammal, while you thought you were just visiting the edges of the animal. The first night was a seance and the second was a channel. The third was just a channel running static through the panel of whatever used to regulate the volume of the wanting. Now the wanting is the landlord, and the landlord keeps on haunting every room you thought belonged to you before the introduction, before the ritual of lighting became liturgy and function, before the Tuesday became every Tuesday in succession, before the clarity survived but lost its sense of direction, kept the vision but surrendered the ability to steer it. Watch yourself descend in high definition and you fear it less and less with every iteration of the sequence. The monster doesn't roar, it just increases its frequency until the frequency is indistinguishable from breathing, until the baseline of existence needs a thing to keep it even, and even is a memory of level ground you're leaving further in the rear view while the engine keeps on heaving. Now I'm taxing every transaction like a consequence collector. The debt accrued before the debt existed in a sector of the legend. Neither one of us is qualified to reckon with directly, so we keep it in the silence like a weapon, neither loaded nor discarded, just maintained between the knowing of two people who remember when the other one was going in a different direction before directions became optional. Deduction was the variable that made it all illogical in retrospect, but retrospect requires the topographical advantage of a distance that the present makes impossible when you're in the mechanism of a thing that greased its entry with the language of affection and the ritual of plenty. He said the door was always open like the opening was chosen, but the choosing had already happened long before I'd frozen, long enough to feel the temperature of what I was approaching. The thing was patient with its timing and precise in its encroaching, moved into the vacancy the way that water finds the fraction, not with force but with the physics of a slow and steady caption. And I see it with the clarity that used to feel like power. Used to think the seeing meant I still controlled the hour, but the clarity's just overhead, lightning in the tower, while the floors below keep running at a frequency that's louder than the voice that keeps on knocking what the other voice is doing. Two tenants in the building, and the building keeps on moving toward an address I can recognize but couldn't have predicted. From the corner where he handed me the thing and I accepted like a gift that didn't show its full condition till I wrecked it into something that I couldn't quite return or recollect it being any different than the shape it's in this moment. The monster and the witness and the lighter its components. So when somebody asks me how the math became this number, I won't dress it in a tragedy or package it in thunder. Just say someone lit a fire and I chose to sit down under the warmth for long enough to lose the taste for going under my own power. And now power is a constant to remember, the way you remember summer in the middle of December. He handed me the lighter like he was handing me a favor. Now I'm running an economy of which he is the labor, the capital, the market, and the invisible regulator. The monster that he seeded now matures as something greater than either one of us had mapped across the original equation, and the ledger keeps its silence like a monument to patience.